Good morning, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. As you know, for the month of October and the start of November, I've been interviewing as many nominees as I can for this year's Underground Cinema Awards, which take place in the Royal Marine tomorrow night in Dunleary. And over the course of this year, the season of short films, we got roughly just over 400 films were submitted into us over at the start of the year. We narrowed that down to 154 shorts that we screened online, and then this year, then our panel have narrowed that 154 down to actually 53 shorts that have been nominated this year. One that really caught our eye this year, it was a great short film, a great comedy as well, it was Dead Dog, and that's been nominated for 3 awards this year. So it's been nominated for Best Comedy, it's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress, that's for Sorcha. Sorcha's with us this morning. And it's been nominated for Best Score by the incredible composer, Brian Byrne. So we have Sorcha with us this morning. Joe may be on this week. Good morning, Sorcha. How are you?
Joe better not have forgotten to set his alarm. That's what I'm worried about.
I think Joe might be still in bed, Sorcha, but we've sent him a message. You're very welcome, and we haven't seen each other in so long, you know. It's great to see you again.
Had the bants there before we went live. I know it's mad. I think just with COVID and life and kids and yeah, that's just what happened, Dave, wasn't it? That was it.
That's it, yeah. But look, it's great. And I was chatting to some of the filmmakers all last week and the week before, when things started to change and we were all able to get out again, it was great to see everybody back doing what they do best, because it's very difficult as an artist to be locked down. It's not a natural thing to be locked down. We're all, we're all creative people. We all love doing stuff, that sort of magic, and to be told we can't do it anymore and we're restricted, it's very frustrating, How did you find it, Sorcha, during that time?
I thought it was amazing. I had no worries whatsoever. No, it was terrific. It was definitely in our business and in the arts, and also like people who ran drama schools, musicians. It was the longest waiting game I think we have ever played. We didn't know when we were going to go back to work. I found a lot of people were reassessing. Like, we're thinking, well, if the arts never open up again, maybe I know a lot of people who went back to college, who were actors. I know a lot of people that actually gave up completely. I just can't imagine myself doing anything else. I've always wanted to do this since I was 4. So I think from COVID, as we talked about ourselves, I decided that I wanted to go back singing. That's obviously not today. But definitely, I just enjoy it. I think now we just appreciate it more. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. And you're right. I think, if you try to turn a negative into a positive, and let's maybe try and look at it like that. All right, we're all put in this really sort of unnatural situation where we're all locked down. But what it did do in a way for some artists, where it gave people a little bit of time to reflect on what they want to do. Do they want to continue? Now, we on our end, what we do is we showcase independent film, and we have been doing that for 13 years. But what we've seen is over the past year, and indeed we know for a fact going into next year, the standard of the shorts and the standard of the writing and the standard of post-production work has gone through the roof. It's because people have had more time during COVID to take their time on their work. Sometimes filmmakers have a tendency to rush things, and that's driven by film festivals. You're racing to get it ready for Galway or Dublin, and sometimes you drop the ball. So it might be in the edit, the sound design, it could be continuity, it could be a number of things. But because all of a sudden the film festival stopped, it meant that people had this thing in their head where they have to race and get their film completed. So what they did was they took their time, and we could certainly see it in the scripts. I mean, I saw this script, I thought, and I know Joe's not with us, and it would be something I'll ask Joe, is that we've screened a lot of Joe's films. Joe's sort of delved into short films, he's great giving back to indie filmmakers his talent. But he's sort of we've screened about 4 or 5 of his shorts, but then Dead Dog came in, and it was a very different departure for Joe, because he's it was almost like you saw the real Joe Rooney, you
Oh,
know, rather than this sort of.
yeah. I
And
remember.
sure, you. No,
Pardon?
go on, Sorcha. Yeah. No,
No,
go ahead. Yeah.
and you don't want to obviously speak, on behalf of Joe. I mean, he'd let us know what he thinks. But when I read the script, I just thought obviously it was he is a stand-up comedian. He just wants to be funny, and now funny isn't funny anymore. You have to have a cause or a disease, and that's and he was getting absolutely no work, and then he thought his dog was going to die. He did this YouTube video, and then all of a sudden he's been booked left, right, and center. And I think Joe wrote an amazing script, a very funny script. Colin Sexton is amazing at directing and lighting, and that, like, he's the whole 9 yards, that man, and he's lovely to boot. And I just thought it was a really, I don't know, because stuff like that I think can happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, people, when I was reading it, I was like, is this Joe talking about his own career? Do you know that kind of way? Because
I was the same.
Such a go for comedians, I think, isn't it? Like, you've got to be kind of on the ball, and the minute you let the ball drop, or like you're not working so much, other people are coming up behind you all the time. And I think that was the whole.
You're right, Sorcha. I felt the same way as well about it. And funny you should say that, because I had been watching I recently watched a documentary on Billy Connolly. I think it was called Billy Connolly in his words. I think it was made a couple of years back. But you see a completely different side to Billy Connolly when you watch it, versus the man, the stand-up comic on the stage, and that's why I felt that, is this Joe? Is this the real Joe that we're seeing? Why don't we play the trailer? We have the trailer here, and just sort of give everyone just a little idea what the film looks like. Just one second. Yeah.
Elsa, food here. Come on.
Things couldn't be going worse for you, Joe.
Yeah, but you're not getting me any TV work.
At best, she has a week to live. Now, we need to vacate her as soon as possible and clear your outstanding bill.
And I've just been told today that she has 1 week to live.
Oh, Joe, it's just so nice to see that vulnerable, softer side to you, the man, the comedian.
And of course, you're still dealing with the grief of losing a dog.
Yeah, it's tough, dude.
Well, listen, I think the whole country was touched by how heartbroken you were.
I know the first thing I'll hear is her 4 paws hitting the parquet floor of heaven. And I'll know she's waiting for me. Elsa. You've been sound, guys. Thanks. Good night.
We love you, Joe! It's just so sensitive.
There we go. It's not a brilliant trailer, and Brian Bourne with a fantastic score. It's brilliant. The piano was superb.
Yeah, gorgeous.
There's touches of, when I was watching it, there's touches of sort of Woody Allen about it as well. When I was watching it, I thought it was great. I know Colin did the camera work as well, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I like Colin is isn't he just an all-rounder, even lighting and everything. He's just brilliant. It was a really, obviously, it was a small operation, like most shorts are.
Yeah.
Once you get the right crew and a great script, it all just, and that's the thing about shorts. People do it for no money. A lot of people, do you know what I mean? They all want to bring something. They all want to make something together. And I just think that's so important, because there's so much talent out there, and unless you get funding, it's so hard to get funding. So a lot of people are starting to make their own stuff now.
Yeah, like people, like you have to jump through hoops now to get the funding. But the great thing is,
when we had Smart Lawn,
it's so difficult, and sometimes it's a little clicky as well, Sorcha. The same people seem to be getting the money all the time.
I'm going to have a mouthful of tea during that comment.
Yeah, and I think that's another talk show, Sorcha, if you know what I mean. But I've certainly seen it over the years. But indie filmmakers are very resilient. Years ago, they would have felt a little bit dejected not getting the money. But what's happening now is that they're basically saying, "Feck it, I'm going to do it anyway." That's what's happening.
But it's also a community, Dave. Do you know what I mean? It's a community of people.
Yeah.
Likes of your festival. Everybody meets each other. Everybody talks about each other's work. People go, "I'd love to work with you. Would you like to work with me? I have this script." And that's the whole thing. It's not about, And even looking at Joe's, what you were saying about, or even the Billy Connolly, like, we're all human beings. Do you know what I mean? We all just have, whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera, it doesn't matter. It's a team sport, you know. And I think once you work with people who believe the same thing, you're on to a winner.
Yeah, once you surround yourself with great people, you're definitely onto you're definitely the end result is going to be superb. And I really thought this film in particular, it just sort of struck me. It's a sort of heartwarming comedy, you know. That's what it is. You know, and and the supporting cast were great as well. I mean, Patrick McDonald, again, he's everybody's favorite receptionist, you know. Like the part is
brilliant. He's just brilliant. But it was just quirky from, like, even playing the agent, like, how frustrating it, you know, would it be for somebody going, listen, unless you've got like cancer or, you know, what else did one of the other like girls have, like
autism,
HD,
cancer on the nose.
And he's trying to go, but I'm a comedian. I'm just funny. Yeah, funny doesn't work anymore. You have to have, you know, you can kind of see his little face going, like, there's no hope for me. You know, I just thought it was a really great script. I just thought it was very funny, you know?
Yeah, like as an actor to get a script like that, especially Sorcha, to play an agent, because I'm sure, you know, you get the script and you say, oh, hey, look, I can't wait. I can pour so much into this. I've dealt with so many. In fact, let me write some more. I'm going to write some more.
I know, it was like a concoction of a lot of conversations I've had over the years myself. And, you know, and all you just want is a chance, right? You just want a chance, and trying to get the chance in this business. If a bit like what we talked about a minute ago about, you know, doing short films and indie films, and you just want a chance. That's it. You just want a chance to prove yourself, and you just want a chance to get in the door to get the gig, you know. And sometimes people don't let you in the door.
Yeah. Now you've been, you know, your career has gone from strength to strength over the years, Sorcha, you know, and you're a very versatile actress, you know. Okay, you're doing Fair City for a long time now, but look, your theatre, I mean, I've seen you on stage before. I've seen you in theatre. You're a wonderful actress on stage. And then this year you have your show, for your Forever Hit show, which was on Liberty Hall there back in September, and you've been off the stage singing for 15 years. What was it like to get back and do it again?
It was nerve-wracking. It was exhilarating. It was, I don't know, like we touched on this earlier about COVID. I think when COVID hit and like Fair City was supposed to shut down for 2 weeks, and then it shut down for about 6 months. And loads of my friends, you know, were out of work. Some were lucky enough that their spouse or their partner was in a normal job that continued. Some weren't. Some were both in the same profession. And the first lockdown for me was definitely the hardest, because it was fear of the unknown, and it, you know, you still kind of see people working from home and kind of, you know, getting on with their life, but you can't work from home. Do you know what I mean? So I remember sitting down and said, if what would be the one thing like that I would regret not doing if and when and the big if we ever got back to normal, and it was singing, and it was something that a lot of my friends over the years tried to encourage me to get back to, and it was something that I deflected from because I kind of felt like I was too old and maybe I wasn't as good anymore. And so one of my best mates was like, that's it, Sorcha, you just gotta do it. And of course we're having a glass of wine over Zoom, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And then you wake up the next morning going, I'm not gonna do it. I feel sick of the thoughts of it. And then when the second lockdown hit, I thought, feck it, what have I got to lose? And I met Vincent Lawler, who's my manager now with Arena Links Productions, and he's just a lovely man. He had seen me singing in the Civic Panto. I had to do Adele's Skyfall in the Civic Panto about 4 years ago, maybe now. With COVID, I can't remember the years, Dave, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And I had an idea for 70s disco and 80s. I think music is really important in people's lives. What humor you're in, or if you're in a good mood, you play this song. If you're in a somber mood, you might play that song. And I just wanted a feel-good Pat Benatar, ABBA, you know, just who else did I do? Fleetwood Mac, Elton John, just like really good songs that still, that's why the name forever hits, even though I was trying to think of a name. It's just songs that you can still listen to now and are still relevant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I did amazing band, amazing bunch of lads who were just so talented, and it was lovely, and just lovely people to work with again, you know, which is really the joy of the whole experience. And yeah, I did it, and I have loads of gigs in the new year. I think the first one I was really nervous, and then about maybe, I don't know, a couple of minutes into it, I was grand. I forgot about it, and I just really enjoyed it. So I think the first one was always going to be the kind of what am I doing? You know, when you're back on stage, like, why am I doing this? Why do I think I could do this? And like, everybody's waiting for you to go on, and then you go on, and 2 minutes in, you can't. The fear kind of goes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got the band behind you, but it is, you know, you're center stage there, you know, so you're holding it. If you go wrong, you know, the band can only do so much.
Well, is that when you're on stage, like I'm doing Panto again this year in the Civic, Sleeping Beauty, and I'm doing Maleficent. But normally when I'm on stage, I'm pretending to be somebody else. So when you're going on stage to be yourself, and I remember Tony Tormey, who plays Paul in Fair City, he said, "Are you going to talk in between songs?" And I said, "Yeah, probably. What are you going to say?" I said, "I have no idea." And he was like, "No idea?" I said, "No, I'm just going to wing it." And he was like, "Sorry, you got like a couple of things." I was like, "No, I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to see what happens." And it turned out to be a fantastic night.
Did you put much rehearsal into an advance, Sorcha?
Yeah, especially especially because like I had Ewan Ferguson on keys, and then I had Jay Clark on bass, Dave Duffy on drums, and Kevin Wims on guitar. And they are seasoned musicians, like they gig all of the time. They gig in various bands. They're a really lovely bunch of lads, and they're really talented. So when you haven't sang or been in a group of in a really long time, it took me a while to kind of get back into that groove, if that makes sense. Because musicians, when they jam and communicate with each other with head nods, and like, what are they saying? Can they not just use words? Because I'd forgotten all the little kind of bits, or not bits, what we call it, like little all right, we're going to go again there, we'll do another.
They're almost like secret nods, you know, they have it all rehearsed.
But I have to say, it was just brilliant. And then they all love the 80s as well, so we started like saying, what about this song, and what about, so it actually, even though it was called Sorcha Furlong and whatever its band, it was our band. Do you know what I mean? And that's the kind of experience that I wanted. It was all of us. I took suggestions from them. That's what I said. I said, I haven't done this in ages. So if I'm doing something wrong, or you think a song, just tell me. Like, I'm not precious. I just want the best show that I can possibly do. And that's what we did. So
you got a good few dates coming up going into next year, right the way through up to March. Okay,
March, yeah. I think I have the Civic Theatre on the Friday the 13th of January. And then I have the Well, which I'm really looking forward to. That's in Stephen's Green. That's the 24th of February. And then I'm the 6th of March in Drogheda. So like it all kind of, it just kind of took off, which was, you know, a dream, if you know what I mean. Like, I didn't know which way it would go. I didn't know whether it was going to be success or a massive flop. And it was. But I think because we had a really good team of people with really good musicians, amazing lighting guys, sound guys, backing singers, trumpet player, sax player, you know, it was just a really nice bunch of people. There was really good energy on stage, therefore the audience felt a good energy. And that's when you're performing, I think that's all you can do. Like, especially like, never mind as a singer, but like as an actor, you just want people to enjoy the performance, because that's our job, you know what I mean? If people leave the theatre and go meh, or watch a short film, that's, you know,
it sounds very much to me. It sounds very much to me, Sorcha. This is sort of giving you a real boost. You know, real boost. You know, I'm trying to word it properly, but you know what I mean, that it's giving you a real boost. It's put a spring in your step. It's something that you wanted to get back into. And you know, I'm wondering now, is it something that you'd like to pursue even further going in deep into next year? You know, is this something that you'd like to really push? Yeah.
There might be a single or two. I don't know. We're kind of talking about it. Is, look, I've been singing and acting since I was a kid. It's really hard to explain it to people who, I suppose, aren't in the business, that, you know, people assume a lot about you. They assume that, oh, you want to be an actor because you want to be famous, or you want to be an actor because you love yourself, or whatever. But most people in the business know it's just DNA. There is no, you just want to do it. It's not about the accolades. It's about just doing a job that you love. And I think definitely when I stopped singing, it was a conscious decision, because Fair City had kind of taken off for me. And I had a residency in town in a restaurant stroke bar called Romances every Friday and Saturday night. And I had my own little band, and it was great. But people then start taking videos, and you were kind of on the floor, and people were videoing you while you were and shouting Orla and all that kind of stuff. And I felt, I got real paranoid, and I got real, they're not even listening. Like, it just became more of a spectacle than a gig. Makes sense? And then I decided to go back gigging. I wanted to do theatres and venues rather than, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing better than performing in a professional venue, and it's the audience you're feeding off as well. So you, as an actor, as a singer, you know immediately you've got them in the palm of your hand. You know it. And you want to give your absolute all to everybody that's sitting in those seats, you know. And when you get that round of applause, it's just magic.
I came on in a lovely dress and high heels. The high heels came off. I was walking around my feet. I was going around into the audience. Like, it was great. It was just a great experience, and it was kind of it was a surreal. Like, you wake up the next morning and you go, did I really do that? And then people are texting you saying, oh, I had a great time, and when's the next gig? And like, people pay money. That's the thing. Like, people pay money to go in and see you. And these days, you know, Ireland, Dublin is so expensive, you know, for everything. So people were paying money for a ticket. They were getting a taxi in. They might have been going for a couple of drinks afterwards. And you have to appreciate that as a performer, that, you know, you have to do the best show that they deserve, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some of the best singer-songwriters, you know, Christy Moore. It reminds me of Christy Moore. If you ever go to see a Christy Moore show, he knows. Sure, he's even written "Welcome to the Cabaret," and in the lyrics of that song, he appreciates so much how you know, people take the time to get dressed, to get the babysitters, to buy the tickets, you know, to come out. They probably had a hard week or something's, you know, not being right at home, and they go out. So Christy Moore knows these people are making an enormous effort to come out to see me. It's not just about the money. And, you know, that's the right attitude to have, Sorcha. You know, that's the right frame of mind. And every artist should be like that. Every singer should be like that. Every actor should be like that when they go out on stage. They have to appreciate their audience have made the effort to see you. Yeah,
I do think that's important. And I think most of them do think like that. Well, especially my friends and work colleagues or whatever, we all kind of think the same. And I think if you get a team of people that all have the same mentality, you're, like I said, like you're onto a winner, because people just want to work. And I think after COVID, people just want to work. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Every interview you're my last interview now for this season. But if you look back at all the interviews, and I've asked the same question, is that, you know, once people got back into short film making, every time I chat to you know, the cast of the crew, they've all said the same thing. It's just been a brilliant experience just to get back out with their friends again, doing what they do best. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've seen so many brilliant indie films this year, and I've no doubt next year we're going to see loads more. And also I've seen, a bit like yourself, Sorcha, I've seen artists that have taken, you know, who have made sort of career changes and have looked deep inside to decide whether they're going to continue or maybe try a different avenue. But that's what COVID has done to us. It's made us think a little bit more about what we want to do with ourselves in the future, be it good or bad.
Yeah, and also I think as a whole, COVID kind of taught you, like, take it slow down.
Yeah.
You would have been worried about, it didn't happen, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh God, I'm really stressed about that job or that thing, and then you're just out of work, so you're actually, do you know what I mean? That worry's gone now,
Yeah.
and I think it definitely you appreciated your friends and your family, people who kind of rallied together. I think. And it definitely made me want to reevaluate everything kind of in my life, where I wanted my life to go, what I wanted to do. And that might never have happened if I didn't experience COVID. Like, I'm trying to take the good out of it, because it was obviously really hard. And a lot of people passed away. A lot of people couldn't see their relatives, their family. Like, it was horrific. It was absolutely horrific. But look at us now. It's like, I see people still kind of wearing masks or not wearing masks or whatever. It's the new norm now. Everybody's just kind of slotted into this new reality, new way of life.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes you appreciate things a little bit better, I bet. Sometimes you take things for granted. When something is taken away from you, for 2 years, when you do get it back, you do really, really appreciate it, So Sorcha, I'm absolutely delighted to have a chat with you this morning. It's been so long since we chatted.
Lovely to see Joe again. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. We really appreciate it. We will get to chat to Joe again.
Talking to me.
It's always a pleasure, Sorcha. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
Okay. Well, listen, I will catch a show. I'll definitely catch a show before March. I can't wait to see it.
You better bring Karen, have a night out, get the babysitter organised.
Absolutely, yeah. Now that's online. I have to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, Sorcha.
See you, Dave.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.